What's up everyone, I'm SigmaTech72 and welcome to my modded creature spotlight for the Gigantophis, added by the mod Moro's Gigantophis by Moronado. Before we get into this, I do want to mention this is a freemium mod. I've put the full limitations on the screen and they're also available on the mod page, but just in short know that if you don't own the mod, you'll still be able to join servers that do have the mod installed, but you just won't be able to access any of the mod's features. Let's move on to spawn locations and get ready to see some sick drawing skills. So, in order of release, you'll be able to find the snake in the jungles and redwoods of the island, which honestly is just basically the whole map. Let's be real. You'll also be able to find it in the dunes on Scorched Earth, so mainly along the edges of the map, just not in that center part. You're able to find it in the jungles and redwoods on the center, so the jungles are, of course, most of the center of, well, the center. And then the redwoods take up most of that southern border or the southern edge of the map. And then finally, you are able to find them within the desert biome of an extinction, which is located in the lower right part of the map. So let's talk about what you're going to need to tame your very own Gigantophis. What we need to craft is actually in the smithy, so all we really need is this Gigantophis flute, and I'll show the engram for that real quick. So Gigantophis. So you can see it's unlocked at level 64. You'll need 25 crystal, 50 wood, and 15 metal ingots. And again, you'll just need to craft it in the smithy. So that's really all you need to tame it. Alright, so we've got our Gigantophis, our 150 Gigantophis, kind of hanging out here in the river by the redwoods. So yeah, the way we have to start taming is we take out the flute, we left click, and then we start playing a song. So this should start calming him down. Yep, you can see right there now that that little reticule has appeared above his head. He's starting to dance. So he'll start coming towards us, and we want to let that happen. So make sure you just stay still, or you can even get closer and then he'll grab. So now we've got the mini game. So all we have to do is match the shape that he does. So do one shape and that'll start the taming process. So you can see I've got 3%. Now I need to change it to a triangle. The important thing to note is that you'll see that there's a timer at the bottom. You just have to be pressing the shape as the timer resets. So that's trapezoid. And this will slowly tick up the taming bar up there in the upper left. Yeah, there we go. Okay, that's a little bit better. You don't have to hold it the entire time for the entire 10 seconds. You just have to hold it as the timer resets. So, oh, okay. Looks like we're looking out. So you can actually get multiple shapes in a row. I think that was 3 squares in a row. Okay, so it looks like we're changing. So we're going back to a triangle. Oh no. There's some aloes in the background. I think we're good because I don't think they'll attack. So let's change the circle. Yeah, and I mean, this is really it. So there's not much to this once this happens. It's just really a lot of information that gets thrown at you all at once. So let's see. Now I need to go for oval. I mean, I really like the taming. This is pretty fun and also extremely terrifying. Because it's just, you have this big ass snake holding you and holding you hostage. Whoops, that's D for vertical infinity. And you do see that our taming does slowly tick down, but it's not very fast, and we're able to top up faster than it ticks down. So let's see, that's going to be probably circle if I had to guess. The good thing about Gigantophis, which I know those aloes ran by, Gigantophis is ignored by some carnivores. So it looks like those aloes did ignore us during the taming, so that's very good. So X is triangle. And yeah, and this is really it. We just keep repeating the shapes until it's fully tamed. Sweet. All right. And we tamed it. So yeah, that's really all it takes to tame it. It's really not too involved. It's just a lot of information all at once. So I think with that, we should be good to go ahead and move on to checking out the abilities and attacks it has. Alright, so let's take a quick look at the saddle and the cosmetic options. So if I search again in the Ingram's list for Gigantophis, you can see all of our saddles and stuff is unlocked at level 64. Let me just do, yeah, there we go. With the tail pulse guns at 82. But for now, we're just going to focus on the saddle and the two cosmetics. So the Gigantophis basic saddle costs 500 fiber, 150 metal ingots, and 650 hide. The Western Gigantophis hat costs 150 fiber, 100 keratin, and 100 hide. And the Gigantophis Santa hat costs 150 fiber, 150 pelt, and 100 hide. And these all three items need to be crafted in the smithy. So let me go ahead and grab the items out. So we'll put the saddle on him. And let's go ahead and throw the Western hat on. So just to give a quick look of what that looks like. I mean, that's perfect for your Rango cosplay. Let me see if I can turn him around real quick. Let's see. Rotate. Let's get him a little in the light. There we go. Did that work? That did not work. Okay. Well, either way, I mean, that's his... This is the Rango, not Rango, Rattlesnake Jake cosplay. And then, of course, our Santa hat, of course, for cosplaying as Santa Claus. That was so stupid, but alright. Let's go ahead and throw the hat back on. Yeah, so I think we should be good to go ahead and check out the abilities for this thing. Alright, let's talk about attacks and abilities for your Gigantophis. So the first thing I do want to mention before we get into it, so we do have controls and cooldowns available on the screen as soon as you ride it. So over there on the right, let's see if I can get it on the ocean so it's a little bit more visible. You can see we have the keybinds for each of the attacks that your Gigantophis is able to use. And then in the bottom, right above the toolbar, are the actual cooldowns. And you'll be able to see those in action as we kind of go through each of the attacks. So your Gigantophis has 3 stances that it's able to swap between. The easiest way, and honestly the only way to do it, is you have to be in Cobra stance. So we're currently in Cobra stance right now, which is where it's kind of this upright, looking much like a cobra. In order to go into Python stance, which is our second stance, we need to press X. So you can see it lowers its body to the ground, and we're able to kind of move around. And we do move around very smooth, I have to admit. I do like it. Although the going backwards kind of throws me off a little bit. It makes sense, but I'm just not used to the creature completely turning around. So, I mean, yeah, you can see it works pretty good. So, in order to go to our next stance, we have to go back into Cobra stance, so press X again. And then from Cobra, we'll press space in order to go into coiled stance. So coiled stance, we are entirely immobile. And we'll talk about more about why you actually want to do this, but just know this is the stance where you actually use your guns. We just don't have any guns equipped right now. So yeah, let's go back into Cobra stance, and I think we'll actually start with Python to begin with. Python stance is the one where we're, again, on the ground. The first thing that's worth noting is we do have thermal vision, so if we hit control, you can see we have basically the snow owl's thermal vision. We're able to see things, or see creatures around us. Although, not quite high range. Of course, I think the snow owl has pretty limited range as well. But yeah, let's go ahead and turn this off because this does drain our stamina as well. So, the first attack we'll look at is left click. So left click is your basic bite. So you can see it does decent damage. It's also our quickest cooldown attack. So I'm just going to quickly take out this trike. And, ooh, I'm sorry, baby. We'll have to take you out too. No witnesses for what we've just done. If I can hit it. There we go. Alright. So let's see if we can find another victim. Ooh, this Phiomia. Okay. So next attack is right click, which is a tail slam attack. And you can see this does inflict a slow onto the creature it hits. But it's got a much longer cooldown than our bite. Alright, it looks like the Anki's going to be the next one. But we might hit a couple more things because the next attack we're going to talk to is bound to sea. So it's the tail swipe. And you'll see where the python does this crazy spin on the ground, which is just so funny to me. But it does have the longest cooldown of the attacks, so it's definitely something to keep in mind. So see again, it's so good, and it does very good knockback as well against creatures. So not only does it have good range, it knocks things back. So let's see if we can piss something off on us to show the next attack. Alright, so we've got this Stegosaur on us now. It is not our friend. It is coming after us. I mean, with good reason. Oh, ooh, and it has impaled us. Okay. Oh, I think... Okay, there we go. Alright, I just got a little stuck on a rock. All good. So, if we need to get away, what we can do is we can press R, which is our shed skin ability. And what that will do is the Stegosaur is now going to aggro onto the shed skin. And I think it actually took it out, so... Oh, no, it's still somewhat visible. But the shed skin also gives us an HP regen and movement speed buff. So you can see, oh, looks like it did not aggro. Sometimes they aggro, sometimes they don't. But kind of the more important piece is the fact we get the HP and the movement speed regen, so we can kind of get at a better angle for attack. Or we can use it to escape. Oh, it looks like I killed the skin. Alright, let's just take this Stego out. Oh, I missed. Oh, and dismounted. There you go, knock back. And... okay, cool. But yeah, the shed skin, if you can tell, has a super long cooldown. I'm regretting fighting Stegosaurs right now. But yeah, shed skin, super long cooldown, great for making an escape or if you need a distraction. I'm gonna have to kill the Stegosaur before we continue, I think. Oh, I think it's running. Okay, well we're good. Oh, stuck on a rock again. Sweet. Alright, so I think the last attack we can show with Python stance is the one that everyone's familiar with by now. It's going to be the constrict ability. And that's done by activating spacebar. So you can see, one thing I do want to show is that they do have to be pretty decently large in order to use it. So if I try to do it on the Stego, you can see at the top it says target's too small to constrict. So it needs to be pretty long, or pretty large. And we've conveniently got this Brontosaur, but I think the Steg's coming in for, no, he's not. Okay. So let's take out this Brontosaur. So if I go up and I press space now, you can see it's a valid target. And, oh. Okay. I think we kind of spazzed out a little bit there. Let me hit melee again. Alright, so let's go spacebar, valid target. Alright, well, I think the coil's a little weird, but you can see, not sure what's going on there. But you can see we've got the Brontosaur constricted. It's slowly draining its oxygen down. And as soon as that goes down, it'll start draining its health. The thing to note is that if a creature does not have oxygen, so, for example, some of the amphibious creatures, I'm blanking on, I think Spino maybe? You don't have to worry because it'll just go straight into draining its health. So, yeah, this is a pretty good way to get rid of these large creatures. And since the Brontosaur actually can't attack us back, it's a very safe way of dealing with creatures like this. So, let's just wait for this to fully go down. And... boom! Alright. Not sure what's going on with the constrict there. Let's see if we can find another Brontosaur to Oh, and the stegosaur's back. Leave me alone. So let's see. Can we... Is this gonna break this again? Yeah, I don't know what is going on with the coil. Okay, so it looks like we're coiled into the ground. And actually, the interesting thing to note, so this is mate boosted. We actually are not aggroing any of the other brontosaurs in the area. So this is a very good way to take down creatures, albeit, you know, very slow. And I don't think, yeah, nothing to hold down to actually take these out. Alright, and it's down. Sweet. There's one other thing you can do in Python stance, which is climb, but we'll have to be in the redwoods for that. So let's quickly just go there. Alright, we're here in the redwoods to show up the last ability for the Python stance. So if we hold spacebar on one of these big redwoods trees, you can see we get this little reticular bar, and we are able to actually climb them. And looks like maybe it's still a little janky, but you can see we are supposed to be coiling up the tree. And we can kind of settle on a spot. And you'll notice I did quickly equip one of the gun saddles. So we'll talk, or gun saddles, tail guns, and we'll talk more about these in depth a little later. But I just did want to show that part of the bonus of doing the climbing is that you are actually to press control and activate the gun saddle. It's just so much fun. I love these tail guns. I'm gonna get the name right eventually. I love these so much. Although I can't really aim. Oh no. Okay. All right. Well, I tried. But yeah, so you're able to use the tail gun while you're climbed, so that's pretty cool. All right. Next up on our list is let's talk about Cobra stance. So starting out with left click, we again have our basic bite. This one is very much the same, where it's quicker, where it's the quickest attack, but in Cobra stance, it's actually directional. So if I point to the side, you can see that or behind us, you can see it does actually turn to face it. And if I point to the side, we do actually just bite off to the side, which is in opposition to Python stance, where it was really only in front of us. So again, much the same. Right click is going to be that tail slam, where it slows and stuns. And then C is going to be our tail swipe, which has the huge knockback and the huge area, or AoE, around the Gigantophis. So let's talk about what's new with the Cobra stance. So the main benefit here is the ability to grab creatures. So I'm going to grab this Parasaur. So creatures that can be grabbed are generally the smaller creatures, but you are able to grab up to the size of a stego, and we'll show that in a second. Basically, if it's too small to be constricted, there's probably a good chance you can grab it. So while the creature is grabbed, you can see we stare at it menacingly. But what we can do is we can just go ahead and start squeezing it. So if you hold left click, you can see much like constrict, we drain down the oxygen and then also drain down the health. So this is very much the kill. And if we want to speed it up, we can also press right click where we'll slam it against the ground for much greater damage. So let's go ahead and grab this stego too while we're here. Yeah, alright. So the next thing we're able to do when we have a creature grabbed is we're able to hypnotize it. So we can hypnotize it with spacebar. And you see we have this new little pop-up right above the creature's head. So once that fills up, it will basically knock the creature out. So yeah, and this does work with creatures that are around it, but they have to be very close. So it's really only just the creature that you're holding. And then if we go down and check it out, you can see that we are actually able to put berries if I had berries. So we'd be able to tame it. Alright, I think we've got a trike right here. Okay. So let's go ahead and grab it again with R. And, oh, looks like is the trike too big to be grabbed? Really? I did not know that. Okay, well, apparently a trike is considered bigger than a stegosaur? That is news to me. Interesting. Okay. Let's see. Can I grab this Phiomia without aggroing the Brontosaur? Yes, alright. So the final thing that we can actually do with grab creatures, we can swallow them. So if I press C, you can see that it does have to be below 65% of its health. So let's just go ahead and drain its health a little bit. Alright, so its health should be good, so let's go ahead and swallow it. So press C. It's so gnarly. It's so good. So you can see if we check our inventory, which if I didn't have all this meat in it, you'd be able to see better. You can see we do have this little Phiomia that is currently being digested. So it'll take about 2 minutes to digest this. What we're going to do first, though, is let's just go and spit it out to see what happens. So let's press E on the digesting Phiomia. You can see we basically just spit it back up. And if we go and check, it is entirely knocked out, and we are able to tame it as usual. And it's actually about to wake up. So let's let it wake up, and we'll swallow this Phiomia again. Alright, and it's woke back up, and the Bronto is coming. So let's see if we can get a little far away, just so we don't aggro it right now. So let's press R to grab it. Awesome. So can I swallow again? Nope. Okay, so it looks like it healed a little bit, so let's just bring its health down a little bit more. This poor Phiomia. Alright, now let's swallow it. It's so good, never gets old. Alright. So what we're going to do now is we're going to let it digest. So you can see it's actually a different color. The reason for that is we'll explain that in a second, but yeah, it's interesting that creatures can be different colors. Or at least you can see the different colors at this point. So let's also just go see if we can find some more stuff to swallow. Phrasing? Alright, so I've swallowed a couple creatures. The Parasaur is actually already digested, and then that Phiomia we was. But you can see you get different kind of, different quality of creatures. I don't know how it's determined. Looks like it's probably pretty random. So, yep, okay, and you can see the color right there. So you can see these two are primitive, and then this Ankylosaur, which just digested, is Mastercraft. So let's go ahead and let these three also digest, and we'll show what you can actually do with these pellets that are created. Alright, all our creatures have digested. So we've got about 6 pellets we can open up. So we'll put these in our inventory. These are basically loot crates, if you haven't already guessed by now. That's why they have the quality. I'm not sure if there's any relationship between the swallowed creature's quality and then the quality for the pellet, because they seem to be kind of random. But yeah, if we press E on these, we can start getting stuff. And, I mean, this is not bad with Ramshackle Quetzalcoatl, Ramshackle Argent, Trike, Carbonemus. I mean, that's a shotgun. There's an assault rifle. So, I mean, yeah, these are pretty cheap and easy loot crates. You don't have to go find them. I mean, I guess you do have to find creatures to swallow, and you have to have a Gigantophis to begin with. But, I mean, it's pretty cool. So yeah, there you go. Free easy loot crates without having to fly around the island. Alright, and the final stance we're going to talk about is the coil stance. So this one's going to be a little awkward to show, so just bear with me. So from Cobra, we're going to press space to go into coil stance. And the thing to note is we are completely immobile. So we cannot move. I'm pressing WASD right now, and we're not moving. We can, however, turn in place by pressing X, so that just lets us rotate around. So, as far as attacks go, we have left click, which is the light strike, which is just kind of the bite like the other one. So if we go that, it's actually got really good range. Much higher range than the other stances, which is really good. However, just know that it's still immobile. The other thing we can do is we can do the heavy strike with right click. So that will slow and stun everything around. You can see this Parasaur is a little stunned a little bit. And again, it's got kind of a higher cooldown than the bite. Now, the next thing you can do is hypnosis. So hypnosis is with C, and this is very similar to the hypnosis that you do when you have a creature grabbed. However, it's got a little bit longer range, so you can see we're actually pretty decently far from these stegosaurs, and we're still... Oh, and then that Phiomia just got in. So it is only in the cone in front, and I think we're just about to knock these out. Oh, yeah, looks like one's knocked out back there. Sweet. Alright. And then the only thing to note is that this does drain your stamina. I don't know if you can see up in the top. It is going down pretty fast. And of course we are able to toggle turn in place while hypnotizing things. Let's see. Oh yeah, there's a Phiomia back there. Did I get the Phiomia? I don't know. Okay, let's go see if we got it. So, I mean, it's got much longer range than the grab, but again, it's just only in the cone in front. I don't think I got it. Oh, I did get an explorer note though.
Janie, you wouldn't believe what I've been
Oh,
through since I
no.
crawled out
It's
of
a
that nice,
voiced
safe
one.
cave. Feel pretty
Some
dumb for giving up
bitch.
a perfectly good hidey hole over a few
Alright,
bugs.
we'll be right back
I
whenever it's
created
done.
cool piece.
Alright, it finally ended. So the only thing I wanted to show is that with these stegosaurs that are knocked out, you are actually able to tame them. So if I had berries, I'd be able to put them in the inventory and we'd be able to tame these up. Now, as far as range for the hypnosis goes, I don't know. Can we hit anything over there? Surely not. Okay. Alright, I didn't think we could, but, you know, just wanted to double check. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to look at is we're going to look at the gun mode. So the thing that I wanted to mention real quick is just the crafting requirements. So the Gigantophis tail Gatling gun is what we're going to look at first. So this is crafted in the fabricator. It costs 550 cementing paste, 350 electronics, 1800 metal ingots, 250 crystal, 200 fiber, and 350 polymer. And it takes in Gigantophis Gatling ammo, which costs 36 gunpowder and 10 metal ingots, and also has to be crafted at the fabricator. Alright, so let's go ahead and equip this. Whoops, not on me. Let's equip this, and then we'll have to give it ammo. So we'll do control to go into gun mode. And you see we change immediately. So the first thing to note is it's got two methods of fire. So semi-auto is just you have to keep clicking it, and it's got very good range. But that's not really what we want to do with this gun. We, of course, want to go just full auto and just completely destroy this Bronto. So good. And I mean, it's very fast to fire. Let's see. And it's got very good range. I think I can maybe hit the Pteranodon. Nope. The reload is so good. And also, you'll notice we do have a little heat bar. So, well, let's see if we can hit the Phiomia. Aiming's a little bit hard sometimes. But you can see the heat bar, it goes up. Let's just go ahead and get it all the way full, trying to hit this Pteranodon. I'm going to hit it. Yep. Oh, I did hit it. Sweet. So good. And then, of course, if you overheat it, you won't be able to fire for a little bit. You can see it says overheated in the bottom, and it'll also have to completely go back down. You can actually keep firing, but if you want to start fresh, just go ahead and let it go back down. And then we just go ahead and press control in order to go back into normal coil stance. Alright, the next gun decided by this mod is the Gigantophis Tail Pulse gun, which is unlocked at level 82. This is also crafted in the fabricator for 100 black pearls, 350 electronics, 350 polymer, 250 crystal, and 1800 metal ingots. And it uses Gigantophis Pulse ammo, which costs 15 crystal, 100 spark powder, and 5 metal ingots, and is also again crafted at the fabricator. So let's go ahead and equip this. So equip you, and then we'll just throw that in. So we'll go control to go back into gun mode. And the one thing I'll actually mention with this before we talk about it, you can actually change the colors of the tail gun. So if I change it to, we'll just say this blue or purple, I don't know, I'm colorblind. You can see that it did actually change. And then we'll just change it to this, let's say this yellow, or not yellow, what is this? This greeny color. If we hit save on this, you can see, if we exit out, you can see the tail gun has changed. But yeah, let's just set it back to the purple. And let's fire. So again, same. We've got the same controls as the Gatling gun. So left click is semi-auto, which just fires it once at a time for every click. And then we've got right click, which is the full auto. The thing you notice is it fires much slower, but it does do higher damage, and it also does a little bit of an AoE. So I think, yeah. Oh, okay. I think we can actually destroy, yeah, you can destroy resources with it too, which is very cool. And range is also very high on it. So if I can maybe hit, oh no, the Bronto's in the way. Oh, we've got visitors. Okay. Can I? No. Okay, I'm gonna have to move. Darn it. Let's see if we can find some decent range. Let's see if we can hit this Bronto that's hidden up the hill. I really like this, the shooting in the terrain modifications it does. Yep, we killed it. It also does water. So if we see, it creates a huge ripple when you fire it off into the water. It's so good. Let's see, what else can we fire at? I don't know. I think I overheated. So same thing with the Gatling, it does overheat. So you have to be careful when you're using it. Oop, can I? It also does this gnarly terrain. I don't know if this is by design or if it's a bug, but I mean, I think it looks cool. I think it has to be by design. Can I kill? Okay, cool. Sweet. Alright, the whole thing I wanted to do was to kill this trike. Sweet, we did it. So, just to show it is super, super long range. Can I? And, okay, and then let's just kill this Pteranodon to finalize it. There we go, sweet. And again, you'll just hit control again to go back into coil stance. So yeah, the guns are pretty cool. So yeah, that's all the abilities that Gigantophis has to offer. So if you stuck this far, good job, because it's got a lot. Alright, so let's wrap up with my final thoughts on Gigantophis. So it's an extremely fun mid to end game tame, but from its combat uses to it being able to be a tame helper through its hypnosis, it fits into a lot of niches. And I'll just briefly mention the clips going on right now are me having a lot of fun on Carno Island, just harassing all of the wildlife, causing multiple extinctions. It's just so fun to use this creature. I do also want to say, I mean, the snake animations are great. All the slithering, I mean, the extreme undertaking I know it took to get it this far is to be commended. But that being said, it does still have some minor issues. I do get stuck on rocks, but I mean it's able to get out of that pretty easily by just going backwards or just wiggling around a little bit. The constricting and wrapping seems to be a little bugged. Of course, this is in single player, so it could just be single player thing. But I mean, aside from those, all the animations are great. All the work that was done is shows. So wildcard, definitely take notes. I think my only other concern is also super minor and totally first world problems, and that's just that it has so many attacks and abilities. I can definitely see it overwhelming people, and I hope that at least this guide's going to help with any of that. But it does have the controls and the cooldowns all on screen, so it'll definitely help in that regard. And I mean, honestly, each stance probably could have been its own individual creature. That's just how many attacks and abilities it's had. But I don't know that those would individually be worth paying money for. So I mean, and I will say, this is a premium mod, and I understand wanting to put as much in a creature as possible because people are paying to use it. So that's definitely very commendable line of thought, and I think this will definitely be setting a precedent for future premium mods. So, I mean, yeah, I think that's really all I have for it. It's very awesome, very fun to use. So, yeah, I think that's it. So, thanks everyone for watching, and I hope to see you all next time.